everyone, welcome back. Long time no see, very long time no see. But as I had warned you, I think a couple of videos ago, this was the semester that I went back to school and I wasn't quite sure how much time I would have. And yes, in between classes and homework, sorry, there's a kitty just off screen and she's in a very mischievous mood. I think she's about to dump some water on my desk. Stop. I know. Anyway, between classes, homework, just normal life, running a home, 2 kids who are in sports and everything. It's been crazy. I have kept scrapping, as you can see, but it's kind of like behind the scenes and in fits and in spurts. I have filmed something. It's been a while, so I don't even remember what I filmed. I do need to edit it and stuff. So hopefully I will continue to slowly share some things with you. And as the end of the semester is December 16th. And so I'm looking forward to hopefully having a few videos for you in between that and when the spring semester starts. I guess I can share with you on here. I'll pop up some pictures of what I've been doing in class. I have 2 art history classes, so there's not much to see for that. But then my studio classes are a 3D design class where it's not just sculpture and pottery and stuff like that, but it's kind of learning the basics of 3D design. And so I did a cardboard bas relief is what it's called, where it's supposed to be flat on the back, and it kind of comes out towards you, the viewer. And I did it based on an image of a library, and I'm very proud of that. There was an abstract thing that is kind of weird, and I'm not going to show it to you because I don't like it. Our most recent project, we had to do a soft sculpture, which is basically like a stuffed something, and so I made a gigantic stuffed carrot. It had to be either much larger or much smaller than they normally are, which is why it's as big as my son, picture here. And in drawing, I have done lots of boring still lifes and stuff. I did a drawing of my hand. I'll pop that up here. I'm proud of that. And then I recently did self-portrait, also proud of that. And now we're working on our final project for that. So anyway, that's art school stuff, fun. But again, in the meantime, I have done some scrapping. So this pile right here, you might have seen this because I think I didn't finish it at the last thing I was at. And if I've shown you these, I'm sorry. I think that I've looked back at my videos to see what I have shown you and what I've not. But anyway, so I kind of have them by pile. So this is the farthest back. There's I went to a 1-day crop called Scrapping for Paws. It was to support a local animal shelter. It's at a place about an hour from me. And this is what I made there. So I'll show you that first. These pieces here are ones that I just made at home when I had an actual afternoon to dedicate to it. There's 4 or 5 of them here. And then this pile, I recently just went to a 4-day crop over the weekend. Was it last weekend? I think it was last weekend. And I was very prolific. I think I ended up counting 17 layouts. So I'm going to go through those with you as well. But I just wanted to pop in and say hi. And I am scrapping and I haven't forgotten about you, but I've just been busy. So anyway, without further ado, let's start with this right here. And again, apologies if you've seen any of this. Okay, so this one, I know that I started it. I feel like I shared it, but I had not finished it at that point. So I just added some embellishments here. I quite like this simple paper with a busier paper down here, the title, and then 3 photos. I love to do that with 3 3x4 photos. I really like the colors in this, even though I don't usually go for that purpley pink. Let's see what I can do. Okay, this one I love, and yes, I have covered up faces and names throughout. You'll see that. My son saw this one and he was so thrilled to have a page. I love the way this title ended up, and I broke up this frame to it kind of adds some movement and explosion, and the colors in this one are just so fun. This is, I really like my white space. I really like this. I was struggling with frames, I think, for the longest time. I've told you guys that before, but now that I use them kind of as a layering piece, I really like them. So that one. I'm not going to show you super close ups. You can pause them if you want. I just don't have time because I have a lot of layouts to get through and I don't want this to be hours long. There's this one. I took a selfie. I had to take a selfie for a student photo ID, and that's this photo. I really like, so these are from Allie Edwards, and they're actually pockets. And I kind of use the layout of the page to use the white space here. I quite like that. And then I journaled here, which is unusual, but I think it's something that I will do again because it gets the journaling in there without taking away from any of the other. There's a lot going on here. But I really quite like the layering as if they're like popping out. I will tell you that because the pockets are so shallow, I did have to cut the photos behind the scenes to get them to fit in there and look good. Don't be afraid to do that. This one, you know, I love my long titles. So this is very similar in that I have white space. Now, white space doesn't have to be white, you know, it just means that there's a place for your eye to rest. So I really like to do this with rainbow papers, especially if I'm cutting them up into smaller pieces so you only get a small portion of the rainbow, is to layer them so you do get the more full rainbow effect. Here's more frames as a like layering piece. I love doing that, and they make a very good spot to add embellishments. So if you haven't tried that, try that. It really kind of simplifies the process for me. And this here, I was one of those, you know, the 6x12 sticker sheets, and you get a couple of like long borders. That's what this is, and I just tore it up and kind of layered it throughout. You don't have to keep them big and long. Keep that in mind. Really like this one. I love this photo of her. But yeah, she does that. She gets as close as she can. This one, you know, I love my busy things. So this one, I know that this came, and I think a lot of these came from one of the more recent Mercy Tiara kits. I don't remember the name of it. I'm pretty sure it's sold out anyway, but it was so colorful, and I vibed with this kit. These layouts were like blam, 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 blam. And this one, this is, you might still be able to get this paper because this rainbow background paper and this cutout top. I did not cut this. It was a specialty paper. I think they're from Chamel's recent collection, maybe Main Character Energy or the one after that. But it's made to layer like this. And so I just kind of went with it. She did the work for me, but then I did some like tone on tone layering of embellishments here and there, but not a lot because there is already a lot going on here. And in order to bring attention to the photo so it doesn't get lost, I like that the photo is dark and this is all bright, so that helps. But then I also layered a bunch of tags behind it to kind of create this. Oh, see, there's a kitty shadow. I told you she's going to come say hi. So that there's kind of a resting place. So I think this, for something as busy as this is, it was a very successful layout. And then this one, oh, here comes the kitty. Sorry. Hi and bye. I've been wanting to scrap these photos of Layla. It's her acting silly in a Target. She found this purse and these glasses and this hat and took this photo with a little sneer. I don't know if you can see her little sneer. I love it. And this just felt right. Again, this was a big, long title. There's a lot going on, but again, it's successful. I gave the photos a place to sit and tucked the title in here. These letters were not standing out enough, this gold, because this is a busy background, and the gold itself, because of the texture, is kind of busy as well. So you can see that I outlined it with a thick white gel pen to make it pop, and I think that worked really well. And then these bits, I cannot remember. So that's the manufacturing strip. I don't remember what they came from, but they're part of the collection as well. And I really liked the color with this background color because it kind of fades to that aqua color over here. And it hemmed in the picture. And I was at the crop, so I didn't have my sewing machine. So impatient me, I just drew it on there. I think had I been home, I would have stitched it and I probably would have liked it a little bit better, but I like the bit of black that brings in the black that she has here. There are dots of black throughout. Not a lot, just enough to kind of bring it all together. So that was that Scrapping for Paws crop. I made all of those. Hello, Miso. She is she's looking for more strings because there have been strings hanging off. Please don't stand on my layouts. Okay, now these were done at home with a collection. I think this is one of the Mercy Tiara most recent collections, which might still be available. I, again, cannot remember the name of it. Maybe Cuddle Up or the one before that. But this one I kind of envisioned as a double page layout without being a double page layout. I don't do those ones where it kind of goes across the entire spread. I like them to more relate to each other. So you see the papers that are repeated, the colors that are repeated. It's the same story. This is just the perfect family photo. We used that for a Christmas card that year. And these are kind of the outtakes, which I thought were hysterical. And I love to scrap things like that. I don't ever just scrap the perfect moments because this is life too. And this is the kind of stuff that I look back on and be, this is what I like to remember. So anyway, double page layout here, and they relate to one another with the colors and the bits because this is from the same collection, a lot of it. So here, I'll show you this one first. I have really been into layering a lot. I've always been into layering, always, but it's just kind of exploded lately. This one I had done, and then I decided at the last minute to add this black outline to it, and I'm very glad that I did. It's just black cardstock, and then I drew a black outline, so it kind of gives you this double line, but it's subtler on the inside, so it kind of fades in and brings your eye in. Love it. This paper here was actually the backing for a sticker sheet. I like that companies are kind of doing that now, and it's probably not archival and acid-free, so keep that in mind, but that doesn't bother me because I do this for the artistic stuff. It's not necessarily for it to be perfect forever and for people 20 years in the future to look at it. That's not why I do it. But anyway, you can see, again, I have a lot of frames in there as layering. It's funny, I use this, so this is a frame, this purpley one here, and I had an extra, and I kind of cut it to make it look like a piece of washi tape over there, and I really like that little moment there. I've layered some frames. I do like to, you know, if you bring in this odd color, which I think works, it's like lavendery, I don't know, it's grayish purple. You want to have it in a couple places so it doesn't look odd. And I went in my ribbon stash and pulled a few textural ribbons out because I think that my normal stripy twine would have A, gotten lost, or B, made it too busy. So having these moments here where it's more just a color that goes and then a texture really worked well. I had these, which are very dimensional. I ripped the dimensional adhesive off the back, so because this was already pretty dimensional. But I love it. And keep in mind, I wish scrapbook companies, if you're listening to me, I doubt it, but if you're listening to me, we need more moments like this, because these beautiful patterns are great, but you really need places for your eye to rest. And it's good to have light patterns like this for your eye to rest. I think that this layout would not have been the same without this like white and light gray moment there. So that's that one. And that's the related one. So this is from what I cut off the edge of the other one so that it would fit on the black border. I have a few sequins on there. I like that we have these two vertical moments here. It just kind of fell together. Again, I repeated those ribbons. And I made kind of a photo strip. So these are just 3 3x4s that I glued together to make them look like a photo strip. So you don't have to print them that way. You can make them yourself. And again, some layers behind it because I can't not. This with the Ian upside down. Oh my goodness. I am talking too much. Love this one. This is not my usual aesthetic. This very muted, but it worked with this photo, this old photo of Layla. So this was taken by my husband's aunt at a Thanksgiving years ago, and I just love it. So what I did, this paper here, I cut it with an X-Acto knife so I could tuck it in behind there, and I added some doilies for some texture, but also they're white, so they give you a moment to rest. And then it was feeling kind of dead down here, so I cut again. And you can see, like, I tucked the stickers down so it kind of looks like a garden. I was not sure about this paper because it's that Art Deco-y thing that's just not my style, but I think it works really well. I think it's originally meant to go this way, and I returned it because I like this and it gave my title a place to rest. I'm really happy with how this one turned out. Can you tell I'm trying not to say I love it, I love it, I love it for all of these? I'm trying very hard, I promise to not be a broken record. Oh, my tea fell off. Oh no. Okay, well I'm gonna have to glue that again. Sorry, there's a kitty tail again. So this, I had printed this photo. This is my son and my father-in-law on his antique tractor, I believe, or one of the antique tractors in the family. Because it felt like it went with some of the papers that I had in here. Hello, Miso. Yes, darling. Yes. This one was a tricky one because I wanted to bring in the red, and I ended up finding this like orangey red. So I really liked having my albums, you know, my ephemera and sticker albums done by color, because then I was able to find some things that worked. Because I had this, which I think is the offcut of this. I love to do that. If you ever cut a piece off the edge, see if you can use that offcut somewhere else, because again, repeating makes a big difference. And I have some of that here and there. I wasn't sure what to do. These are foam tags. Can you see the dimension? But they were blank. I was like, what do you want me to do on there? So I put some like clear stickers on there so it's subtle. Brought the gold. I have that again in 3 places throughout. These letters are Tim Holtz letters. I think they're meant to go on these like mini message board type things, but I just have them. And I need to glue that guy back on. That's bothering me. But yeah, I like the unexpected color combo that we have here with the green, but then the aqua and this orangey red. We have Moments of Rest with this brown. That was pulled in from this Vicky Bouton paper back here. So not one of my typical ones, but I do like it. I feel like it fits the photo pretty well. I'm not going to flip that one upside down. This one I love. Again, so this one was very simple. I had this orange paper and I had already printed this photo out, and I knew that I really liked the way they looked together because I feel like this polka dot is very playful. It's a very playful photo. And then I also had this orange tissue paper that the stuff came wrapped in. And there's more of that white and gray paper back there. And then most of the rest of this, so this came in the kit, but these big pieces, these big circles, this big tag, which I did cut, by the way, to fit back there. And these stars, they came from the recent Allie Edwards Halloween collection. I think they're huge, but I like that because it's just like blam, 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 done. And so keep that in mind. Allie Edwards is not 100% my aesthetic. I know some people just are very, very into the story, and that's what she does, and she does it so well, and they do so well. But I do like her style and her stuff, and so I always take it and incorporate it in my way. And that's what we have going on here. So I quite like how this turned out. This, by the way, was stuck here. It was O with the exclamation point, but I knew I wanted it to say O pumpkin, so I just cut it off and tucked it in there. Make the things work for you. Make it work. Okay, let's see. So that's those. And then now we have this giant stack. Like I said, I think I have 17 of them, and I will flip them over in the order that I did them, because I did work from kits. I worked from several kits though, but they are, again, I promise I'm not sponsored. I just really, really, really like the Mercy Tiara kits because I like the paper she puts together. She puts things together that, for the most part, work the way my brain works, and I like that they're from collections that are out there now. So if I want more, I can go get more of the collection. And so check her out if you like that kind of kit where it's a collated kit. You know, they've amassed it. They've already put it together for you from things that are already out there, which I appreciate because that means that it's kind of very on trend, but it also goes with what you probably already have in your stash. And that's the way I work. Anyway. So these are from several of her kits. Now the first one, I feel like at a crop, my first layout is always my least favorite layout, and I know that. I know it's going to be busy. I know it's not going to be me, and I just get it out of the way, and that's what this one was. I did not love, I'm just not into this antique-y looking style, but you know, it went with the photos. So this is a frame. I think this is from last year, so I don't know that this stuff is available yet, but it was a Simple Stories kit, but it just fit. So it's very busy, but it is what it is. So there's that one. I love that they see me rolling. Okay, now we get into like, this is much more me. Love this one. This time I went with really big layers. I like that look where it looks like paper that was just kind of laid down on somebody's desk, and that's what I went with here. This paper here I pulled from a Heidi Swap thing, but the colors worked so well. So like you can see, these are the Heidi Swap bits and pieces in here, the love you, this background, this page, but it goes so well with this other collection. Because I think I have like 2 or 3 different collections, because these papers here, and then these stickers, and then of course the Heidi Swap thing, but they all go together because they have similar colors, and I like the similar styles and how they, or the different styles and how they play against each other. But I really like that. Again, we have white space, white space. Keep that in mind when you're making pages. Really like this one. We are no longer living in that home, so that's why I feel okay showing it to you. Here I go again using frames for layering. I had a little bit of this house paper, and so that's kind of where this came from, and used it as a layer. This is this paper here. This is the manufacturing strip of that paper, and I didn't cut it off. I just cut a 1/4 inch off the top instead to make it 12 by 12. So then we have this moment of like 3 related papers. I quite like that. Very simply embellished. Those giant florals will do that for you. It's just like blam, blam, done. But I quite like this. This one was super duper fun. I had laid these papers together and I really, really, really liked the way they looked. But again, they're very busy. And so what I ended up doing, what I like to do with a very busy paper is to make it my frame and then use white like you see here, but I was tired of doing that and I wanted to do something a little different. So this time I did kind of a double frame moment. And I quite like how that turned out. I put a little washi tape so it looks like the thing is painted or taped on there. Again, blam, 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 big things. This was an exclusive acrylic and wood cut from the Mercy Tiara kit, and I love it. I love it with this photo of Willow. She intentionally designed it to nestle like this, and it's just perfect. I was a little perturbed as a former editor that there was no period for something that's a sentence with lowercase, and now if we had had capital, then it'd be a title. I wouldn't need a period. So what I did was I made the acorn my period. But that's just me, and I know that I'm weird, and I know that wouldn't bother most people. So love that one. The colors in this one is so pretty. This one too. This one was very simple, and I did intentionally go off this edge, but not any of these edges here. So these papers, all of these, are from that Heidi Swap. It's not a kit. It was like a little book pad, that's the word for it, you know, where it has papers and some sticker sheets in there, and I just kind of chucked it in there, and I'm glad that I did because it was great to mix with this stuff. And again, very simple. I think this is why I got 17 done, because I kind of kept it on the simpler side, but I really liked it. I love this kind of layered huge frame. So this one is my crazy layering, but I went big again, kind of like I did here, instead of going with my smaller layers like I often do. And I really liked the way this title played with the papers, but it brought in some colors that weren't in anywhere else, and so I brought those in with this. This was a 3x4 cut apart that I put on here, and then this as well. So I kind of made sure that it all goes together. And then love this one. This is even simpler. There are no embellishments at all on this one. So I had this paper, and I had torn, again, it's busy, and so I look for a way to use these busy papers that I love without taking away. And I think that this is a really successful, different way to do it instead of using it as a frame, because I find stripes very difficult to use as a frame because I don't like the sides where you only see the 1 or 2 colors, whereas across the top and the bottom you get a whole bunch of them. So what I did here is I just tore some white cardstock, and I love that. I love that. And again, here I am using that tape, and then this is a rub on. That's it. That's it. And it separates it from like my main photo. I love this. And there is a minimalist in me, I promise, trying to get out. So when I do layouts like this, I cringe, and I always want to go more minimalist like this, but it doesn't often happen. And so when it does happen, I'm like, oh, I love it. I love it. And I put the date down here because I always date my layouts for the photos, but I didn't want it to interrupt any of what was going on. So I thought that was a nice compromise. This one, I've had this photo in so I have an album on my iPhone. It's called To Scrap, and I just kind of add things in there because it makes it easier when I want to print to my selfie, because they're all contained and I don't have to search and scroll and scroll and scroll for these older photos. And it's been sitting in there and I haven't scrapped it. And so we had a lot of oranges, and I felt that they worked because she has orange in her uniform. And so this one, again, very simple. I'm sorry if you can hear my puppy in the background. She really wants to go OUTSIDE, but is not going to get to yet. But I kept it orange, white, gold, and black, and that's it. And I think that kept it really simple. I love mixing these tiles. I love these letters. You will see them a lot starting now. These you can still get. They are part of the newest Vicky Bouton Christmas collection. I think it's called Wrapped in Ribbons, and they do have these variety of letters in them, and they have gold dots on them. I don't know if you can see the gold, but I just love them. They go with everything, and they're so kind of like playful, and I like that in my layout. So I had 3. I bought 2 for myself. I got 1 with the newest Mercy Tiara kit, and then I went and bought more because I love them and I want to have them. So I think I have like 5 or 6 sets of them. Okay, so here we have this one. This came in the kit as well, this ribbon, and I love the texture it adds. I love using this unexpected light blue background. You know I love a ledger background. I love it. I have just a few layers this time, and then I have this kind of cascade of leaves. I feel like all my fall layouts end up doing that. Leaves, 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 but I just can't help myself because they come in all the ephemera packs and I love them. I was so proud of myself for using a few birds. I never use birds, but I got them in there. I was a little frustrated. Again, I was at a retreat, and so I had a limited amount of things with me, and it annoyed me. I wanted to use magic because we did this at the magic hour, which is why the photos are so amazing, the color, you know, the lighting in them. But this gold is a very, very bright yellow gold, and I didn't have letters that match that. I really wish that I had had that, but we're just gonna have to go with this. This title took me forever to come up with because I knew I wanted to use that, and because of that, it was making things really, really difficult. We do that to ourselves sometimes, right? Now here's my son's photo on that night. This is the inset, like when I cut this. This is the paper that was left over there, and I love it. So I used a pun here, looking good. Again, layered a frame back there and made this little moment here. Some bigger layers. I really like to do that too when I have this very rigid frame with a perfectly square piece of white paper on top of it. I like that my inner layers are not perfect. You see that we have these moments here where they're kind of overlapping, and I think that breaks it up and makes it a little more casual looking. I was so proud of myself to use a banner. I never used banners, but again, keeping the embellishments pretty darn simple. And this, I was so upset. I'm gonna have to try and fix that if I can at least cover up the white here somehow. My ink pad, I think it got on my hand, and I did that, and I was devastated to see that happen. But I mean, it's not terrible. It could be worse. It could be on his face, but I think I can just like cover it up and it'll be good enough, right? Now this one is noisy because I had all these sequins and I wanted to use them. And I wanted to make a big shaker pocket, but I didn't have any big, like I would have loved to do a heart or something. I think that's really fun. But again, I was at a retreat and that would have been too complicated. And so I kept it nice and simple with a rectangle, and I made this kind of like shelf moment, but I kept it going around here. And then since I didn't have acetate with me, this is from packaging. I think it's from a letter set. And I just kind of cut up the packaging and used it there. It's not ideal because it's a little floppier than acetate normally is. And you can see that it gives you that like wrinkly look, but I don't care. I got it done. That means it's another layout done. I love this big shaker pocket. I love the big title and the mix of letters and how the title comes down onto it. Kind of makes it all go together. And this is just one layer. This is one of those papers. If you ever see those papers that are in the 6x8 paper pads that have like strips that I think they're meant to use in strips, but they can be a really nice layer of color behind your photos. So don't overlook them as like a layering piece, a big piece that you don't cut apart. And I really, because it's down here at the bottom too, it just brought that much needed color, because this was very green and blue, and we brought in like the oranges and yellows with this paper, and I think that it really just made the page, made it cohesive. This one I'm not 100% done with. I need to stitch it. You see, I'll leave notes for myself. I want to stitch along 3 sides. I did scrap lift this. It's somebody that I had saved on my Pinterest board. I'm not sure who it was, but she had done this same moment and stitched, and I really liked that look. But that's why this is not glued down, so that I can stitch and then glue it down. But I really like this, the Hey Hey Pumpkin. I never use bows. I was so proud of myself. I used 2 bows on here, and I think that they fit really well. They don't stand out too much. This one just makes me happy. So these two, we did a class while we were there, and it was because our friend was trying to get certified as a creative memories instructor or something like that, I think, and she needed to document that she had given a class. And I've told you guys before that creative memories is just not my jam, the way they do things. I love it for other people. I know a lot of people do love it, and it's great because it gets more people scrapping, but it just doesn't work with the way that I scrap. I like wonky. I love layers. I love texture and everything, and their layouts are very perfectly regimented, and that doesn't work for me. And so I went completely rogue. I did use the punch. I like this little sun punch, and her dies and stuff like that. And I used the colors. I did bring in a third. She had given us this embellishment, this very light polka dot papers from that Heidi Swap kit. And so again, here's a double page related layout. These happen on the same day, but they're not necessarily a double page layout, which is what she was going for. But I went to go looking. I knew I had these colors in here, and I thought that Layla's shirt went, and so it just worked. It was very summery. And this one, I mean, it's different. It's like on an angle with these angled little strips. I'm not sure I'd do it again, but I like it. I like the way it ended up. I did bring in some pinks on this one. This is from a Pink Fresh kit, these bits. And I think it gave it that something extra I needed. Because that's the other thing about creative memories, is that they keep things very simple and kind of limited as far as your color palette. And you guys know that I like to throw in a lot of colors and a lot of unexpected things. So that's what I did here. But I ended up really liking both of these layouts in the end. I wasn't sure. Sorry for my whiny puppy. Okay, sorry. Almost done, I promise. 4 left. My dog is desperate over there. So this one, I knew I had written down this title, Amazingly Corny, after we did the corn maze, because I just loved it as a title, and I knew I had photos of the corn maze, and so I made it happen here. We have these layers in here. The journaling, again, this is a moment that gives you a break on this busy background, and it is a very, very long title, but you know I like my long titles, because I couldn't quite figure out how to make Amazingly Corny. I could have just left it at that, Amazingly Corny, but it felt like it needed more, and so I added more here. Again, the golds don't quite match, but neither here nor there. And then this one, oh, I love this. So this paper is from the newest Vicky Boutin collection. If you like it and you want it, these deer I never thought I'd get to use them. They are from the Paige Evans Christmas collection. I'm not sure if it's this year's or not, but I just had to. I love this. I used an X-Acto knife to cut around this. This paper also is from the Vicki Boutin collection, and as well as this one, I believe. I love this collection. I do want to add some dots there. I just didn't have them with me, and I love this central layout. And normally I would put a doodly border, but because this one kind of already has a little bit of a border hemming it in from the white of the paint swatches, sorry, let's hold it down so you can see it. That worked. Love, love, love this one. Again, simple. Okay, last two. This one, I love this paper. Again, it's from that Vicki Boutin collection, and a lot of these pieces are, because I just love this collection. And the subtle colors, the ornaments hanging down, I did add some twine to some of them that didn't have, you know, that looked like they were just kind of hanging in space. And it's, again, I don't know. I'm going to keep saying the same things, but I got like 4 or 5 of this paper because I love it. So I don't know if you can see it, but it has these subtle colors in it. Greens, see over here, look at the color in that. I love it. I love it so much. And it'll be a great layering piece too for behind photos. Now my last one. So this is a fun paper and I have extras of this and I would like to do something with it, but I used it for the star side. And this is my son at his holiday concert last year. This cheerful piece was a cutout that was provided with the most recent Mercy Tiara kit, and I love it. It has this like block underneath, so you can like glue it in there, but the letters stay together for you. I don't know let's see if we can see it. See it in there? I love it. It's so fun. I had done a little layering on this one, and it needed more. I'm glad I brought this brown in that I had brought with me. Again, this is one of those. This is a manufacturing strip. Vicki Boutin is famous for doing that on all of hers, making her manufacturing strips like another piece that you can use. And this one I kind of cut up and layered to make this little burst moment. This is another manufacturing strip that I used to ground the photos. And then I kind of made this like cascading title, subtitle, journaling, date. So it's like, and I really like that. I might do that again. So anyway, millions of layouts. So many layouts, but again, they were all done in kind of fits and bursts. I haven't really otherwise had a lot of time for scrapping, so it was good to see you. Hopefully I will see you again soon with some stuff coming up in December, and stick around for that. So have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving weekend, and for those of you who are not in the US, just have a wonderful weekend. See ya. Bye.